We just finished talking about perimeter, so now let's look at area. The formula for area of a parallelogram, the formula for area of a trapezoid, and the formula for the area of the triangle. I'm going to start with the triangle one first. We know that the area of a triangle is half base height. And when you think about it, a parallelogram, which is another name for a rectangle, is base height. So if you think of a rectangle and you draw a line from corner to corner, you get two triangles. So it makes sense that a triangle is half of a rectangle. That's how I remember the formulas. Trapezoid, it's kind of like a blend of the two. We have half of the height times the bases. So it's a lot like triangle where it's half base height, but in a trapezoid we have two bases, so we have to add them together before we can use it in our formula. So let's find some areas. Now we're not going to do all of these, we're just going to pick a couple. So let's do, we'll do that one, and we'll do one that has a fraction in it. So this one is a rectangle. So I like to always draw pictures. I'm a very visual person. So I have 6.7 meters, and I have 8.5 meters. Well, the area of a rectangle is base times height, so I have to multiply them together. So area is going to equal base height. So my area is 8.5 times 6.7, which leaves me an area of 56.95, and this would be square meters. Area is not linear measure, it's square because we have two dimensions. We have a base and a height, or length and a width. So that's two-dimensional, which means it's going to get squared. So whenever you're talking about area, your units are always squared. When you're talking about perimeter, it's linear. You just leave it what the unit is. You don't have to have an exponent on it. Now this one says find the area of the square. And they only give us one piece of information. It says 3/4 mile on a side. Well, because technically it's a parallelogram, it still means base times height, but when you're dealing with a square, your base and your height are the same. So 3/4 times 3/4 is, well, you multiply straight across, so we get 9/16 square miles. Now let's look at, we have some parallelograms, some trapezoids, some triangles. Let's look at the first one, number 14. This is a parallelogram, which is four-sided. So we're still going to use base times height. Now my base is 5. And my height is 8. And it's written kind of weird, or in the picture it's got dotted lines. It's because you want the height. Your base and your height should always form a right angle. So that's why they have those dotted lines outside of the shape. But that still represents the base and the height. So we're going to have 40, and it looks like square centimeters. Now number 15 is an example of a trapezoid. It's four-sided, and we have one set of parallel sides. Your parallel sides are going to be your A and your B. So we're going to have, remember the formula is 1/2 the height times your bases added together. So I'm going to have 1/2 times 3.5 times 3 plus 4. Order of operations tells me I have to do my 3 plus 4 first. Once I have that done, now we just multiply everything together. 1/2 times 3.5 times 7 ends up being 12.25, and this is square inches. Now let's do a triangle. So we'll do this one down here on the bottom. So recall that a triangle is half base height. So half times my base of 3 times my height of, looks like 9/2. And now when I multiply everything together, so I'm just going to put that over 1 so it makes them all fractions. Looks like I get 27/4. But it looks weird to have an improper fraction when we're talking about measurement. We typically do take those back to mixed numbers. So 27/4 would be the same thing. Well, 4 goes into 27 6 times, and we would have 3 left over. So 6 3/4 square, oops, not inches. Looks like it's meters squared.